First, I'd like to ask you two questions. The first question, do you think the real you is closer to how others see you or to how you see yourself? The second question, if you're not satisfied with the way you're living or your current state of being, could it be that your subconscious simply doesn't believe you're capable of living a happy life? Actually, I've set a trap in the first question. Does the real you truly exist? Are you here to discover yourself or to create yourself? That is the real question worth exploring. So today, we'll discuss the subconscious determines the height of your life. Today, I'll cover two main topics. Part 1, Psychological Cybernetics. Part 2, How to use Psychological Cybernetics to transform your life. In the section on Psychological Cybernetics, I'll discuss how self-awareness sets the ceiling for your life, how the subconscious mechanism acts as the body's automatic navigation system, and the physiological effects of imagination. I believe that after watching this episode, many of you will be able to directly change your personality and even transform your life circumstances. Where did this concept originate? In 1960, there was a very famous plastic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz. At that time, plastic surgery was not performed to enhance beauty, but rather to repair scars and remove tumors. He was surprised to discover that, in many cases, simply improving a person's physical appearance could lead to a dramatic transformation in their personality. For example, someone who was originally very introverted might have a scar on their face. After the scar was smoothed out, they suddenly became particularly outgoing and sociable, no longer confrontational or sharp-tongued. In other words, a person's personality can actually change through a transformation in their appearance. This raises the question, is a person's personality innate, or does it change in response to shifts in others' attitudes toward them? It certainly can. For example, if someone has a scar on their face, our first reaction might be to perceive them as fierce, so we treat them with caution and wariness. In response, they may become even more sharp-tongued and won't regard you as one of their own. Consequently, Maxwell Maltz proposed Psycho-Cybernetics, and he is considered a cornerstone of modern success philosophy. After undergoing extensive plastic surgery, he realized that people actually have two images, an external image and an internal image. The external image is what we see on the surface, appearance, physique, and behavior. But people also have an internal image, often the version of yourself that you imagine. Let me take this a step further. Do you know who you are? You are the person you think others see you as. Think about it again. Who are you? You are the person you think others see you as. Others may have no ill will towards you. They may be neutral, but you might assume they do, leading you to believe the world treats you with malice. Deep down, each of us carries a self-image, a picture of how we believe others see us, and this self-image is the ceiling that limits your life. No matter where you believe you stand in the world, none of your actions will ever break through this ceiling. If you believe others are full of malice towards you, and that everyone wants to trip you up, you are destined to be tripped up time and again. This is because many actions are neutral in themselves. It is you who assigns them a certain meaning. You have a self-image, and your existence in this world is dedicated to filling that self-image. You have what you believe to be your true self, so all your actions, whether conscious or subconscious, are focused on filling this self. Do you think you can break through? You cannot. Because you believe you have a fixed self, you are not creating yourself, but rather filling yourself. When you're filling yourself up, there's already a template and a ceiling you simply can't break through. So what we should be thinking is, we're not here to find ourselves because before you were born, there was no you at all. It's not that heaven gave you a template and told you to follow it. You are constantly creating yourself. Every single action you take shapes who you are. That is why your internal self-image is so important. Why do some people suddenly become confident and outgoing after getting plastic surgery? Because the self they see through others' eyes has improved in their perception, so they view the world with goodwill and become more outgoing. In reality, others might not care about that scar or their appearance at all. It's simply that they believe they've improved and their attitude changes as a result. People must consciously focus on their internal self-image. Maltz also mentions a key point. The human body has an automatic navigation system. What does that mean? The human brain and nervous system are, in themselves, an extremely sophisticated goal-seeking mechanism. As long as you give it a clear goal, it will automatically mobilize subconscious resources to achieve it. There's a saying that rings true. Everyone has a subconscious, but if you're not aware of your subconscious, you call it fate. You actually have a subconscious. You just never pay attention to it. It's possible that deep down, you've convinced yourself you can't lead a happy life or achieve success, but you've never realized it. Why do you always feel that happiness is out of reach? It could be your family of origin, or perhaps the people around you have instilled strange ideas in you. For example, that successful people are all part of some conspiracy, that those who are doing well simply have good families and are just inheriting their parents' lifestyle, or that a tragic childhood takes a lifetime to heal. You've never realized that these ideas have been implanted in your subconscious and have become your destiny. Every reaction you have to the world's difficulties is an automatic response system provided by your subconscious. You're acting entirely within these implanted frameworks. Deep down, you feel that no matter how hard you try, past hurts are indelible, like a brand stamped on your consciousness by system code. But as long as you can extract this brand from your subconscious, you can discard it. The greatest fear is this: you don't realize that your subconscious is controlling your behavior, so you label it as fate, thinking, "My life is just full of suffering," or even romanticizing it by saying, "I embrace it willingly." In reality, this isn't the case. Your life can be very happy, but you must observe your subconscious. Past experiences have shaped you, but can the subconscious be changed once it is observed? This brings us to a view the author left for future generations of psychology that is of utmost importance. You must visualize a happy life, what is now called manifestation. Where is its scientific basis? It lies in your constant visualization, refining, concretizing, and making tangible your inner self-image. The brain's nervous system cannot distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. The subconscious isn't that smart. If you keep feeding it information, it will take it as fact. Let me give you an example from my own life. When I first graduated, I was penniless. I would constantly implant this vision in my mind. I want to earn money with dignity. I want a respectable job. I kept thinking about it over and over until I gradually began to feel like a respectable person, someone who could earn a living with dignity. Even if I had to earn money while squatting, I would never do so on my knees or crawling. This is the hope my subconscious gave me. You must constantly feed yourself these concrete visualizations. Keep imagining future events. When your imagination becomes vivid enough, your subconscious will no longer be able to distinguish between reality and imagination. The purpose of constantly practicing self-image visualization isn't to memorize specific actions, but to establish a conditioned reflex in your subconscious. Success and happiness are a given. Many people feel their lives aren't going well, and at its core, this stems from a sense of inferiority. Why do they feel inferior? Because the people around them have imposed too many subconscious frameworks and negative messages on them. Once a piece of information is implanted in your mind, as long as you have a certain degree of agreement with it, it becomes very difficult to erase. Some statements sound cool and make sense at first glance, but upon closer inspection, they don't hold up. However, humans don't like to think deeply, so once these ideas are implanted, they're hard to remove. It's like planting a new anchor from then on. Your subconscious quietly shifts, and you're not even aware of it. Many people have unconsciously adopted negative lifestyle habits. So how can we improve and reshape ourselves? Step 1. Relax. Close your eyes, relax completely, and imagine yourself as an empty cup. Right now, I am a book and a cup. The cup is empty, and the book is blank. Step 2. Format. Imagine the person you want to become. Van Gogh said, "I dream my painting, and I paint my dream. First, I dream of the painting I want to create. Then I wake up and paint that dream." What kind of person do you want to become? A gentleman? A gentlemanly person? A dignified individual? Or an elite? You can imagine any of these. First, create a mental image of yourself. If life has a template, this template isn't shaped by past experiences. It's what you envision. You become exactly what you believe yourself to be. Step 3. Visualize and write it down. Describe the image of yourself in detail. Are you wearing glasses? Is there a desk lamp? Where are you sitting? What are you eating? Are you drinking water, ice water, or hot water? What is your work state? Is it strenuous or relaxed? How much effort are you putting in? Everyone has different needs and different self-images. Write them down. Step 4. Say it out loud. Recite the 10 points you've written down every day. After a month, you'll see remarkable results. I've really thought about many things, and they've all come true. I'm someone who loves daydreaming, and many of my daydreams have come true. For example, in elementary school, I used to imagine that I could suddenly fly, soaring through the clouds and landing in a foreign country. Later, when I went abroad for high school, I actually flew through the clouds and landed in a foreign country. In high school, I imagined I'd earn enough money on my own in college to buy a car. In my sophomore year, I actually bought a car with my own earnings. In my senior year of high school, I imagined I'd live in a nice apartment in college with a bar stool where I could smoke and read. One day during my sophomore year, I was actually sitting on a bar stool in my apartment, smoking and reading. Later, I imagined earning $1,000,000 a year by age 27. I achieved that well before then. There are many such examples in my life. I don't know if it's related to visualizing my self-image, but I do have a habit. I often talk to myself in the mirror. Why voice your imaginings aloud? Thinking is your mind running through it. Looking in the mirror reinforces the image visually. Speaking it out loud engages your hearing and mouth movements to run through it again. Hearing yourself say it reinforces it yet another time. This entire process amounts to 5 layers of reinforcement. Doing this every day is like brainwashing yourself gradually. You'll start living the life you want. If you're an insecure person and feel unhappy because of it, will doing this make you more confident? Yes, there's no question about it. It will. I'm sharing this with you all. I hope you keep getting better and better, that your dreams come true, and that the life you want will eventually become a reality for you. That's all for today.